Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Straw Hat Lee here, back again for another Whatcha Making Wednesday. And so, going to continue where we left off last week with our Dandadan Cosplay, cosplaying Granny Seiko, my favorite character. We are currently working on painting the bat that is going to go with our cosplay. We 3D printed it 2 weeks ago now, I think, and assembled it last week with a lot of epoxy. And so, we've got the finished epoxy set and everything assembled very, very well. So this is my bat, or Granny Seiko's bat. And again, it still has the attachable top and, of course, the pencil that attaches by magnet. So what we're going to do today during stream is we're going to sand this down, not by much, well, you may not be able to see it that well on the camera, but it's not very smooth. At least not completely. So I want to get it to be a relatively smoother surface, just kind of bumpy around the edges and stuff, and it wasn't a super fine print on my printer. So before I start putting any paint on and have all of those bumps and imperfections show, I kind of want to sand it down, smooth it down as best I can. I'll probably only be sanding the main bat part here, and also hopefully filling in any tiny little gaps where the epoxy didn't quite seal up as nicely as it could have. Not many huge gaps. I see one that I can maybe kind of get a bit of my fingernail into, so I have some ideas of how I can fix that and fill it and continue on with the painting as planned. So yeah, my method of attack for sanding it down are going to be my little power sander here. It's pretty standard Black & Decker orbital sander. I have a lot of sawdust. Let's see, this is a 120 grit piece of sandpaper that's on there right now. Yeah, just a little kind of, what is this, 5-inch? Oh, this is 220. Yeah, so I'm going to start with 120 first, just to kind of prepare the surface, and then probably we'll go over it again then with a 220. Just for people who don't know sand grits, quick, the lower the number of sand grit, the rougher it is. So 120 is still considered fine, fine grit, but it will still kind of roughen up a surface a little bit for you, but not as much as like a 90 or 50. That's like pretty much just coarse sand, like sand, almost rock, like grinding stuff. You're really using those to shape something. At least from what I remember from doing woodwork way back when. So yeah, I'm going to start with 120, then go up to a 220. I also have, I believe this is a 320, 300? I think 320. But this is a hand block, a hand sander that, yeah, I'm going to go over and really smooth it out. Though the 220 might be more than enough to get the smoothness that I'm looking for, or at least to get those kind of rough edges out of the print. But just in case, I have a 320 here as a hand block that I can use as well. Yes. So once we're done sanding, I've also got some paints over here. Maybe I should switch to my other camera. Give me a second. Ah, there we go. So yeah, so I've got on my other work desk here, I've got some different paints that I'm going to use on the pencil. I'm going to start with just a basic acrylic, just a basic gray. Maybe it says neutral gray. I'm going to start that on the entire bat first. It takes acrylic really, really well. But I want to do that because I don't want to just go in with, so I have metallic, armor, metallic, flexible acrylic paint. Really, really great for cosplays. It's kind of my go-to for like my 3D prints and other props that that I'm painting and doing. But so, but it's I don't have a lot of it, so, so I want to use it kind of sparingly and kind of use it to highlight, I guess, the metallicness of, you know, I want it to be a top coat, not the entire base coat, because also I anticipate I'm going to need to do multiple coats, layers, so I'd rather do multiple layers of just a basic cheap acrylic gray and kind of save the more expensive specialty paint for just kind of that finishing touch. That being said, so this is for the bat. For the top of the pencil, of course, got just a standard, again, flexible acrylic paint. Also, a basic acrylic paint will do just for the pencil tip. Yeah, just the tip of the pencil here is just going to be painted in black. I even painted an outline for myself with marker so I can remember where the lead stops and where the wood of the pencil is supposed to start, just so I don't get it confused. But yeah, that top part's all just going to be painted in just a standard black, nothing fancy. The wood part of the pencil, I'm just going to combine, again, some brown flex acrylic paint and just a little bit of just a milky white acrylic paint. I'm just going to mix that together until I get as close to a wood color, pencil color as I can. And then, yeah, then get to work on that. As well as painting the top part. This is probably just going to be in a base acrylic gray or darkest gray. Probably not going to do the metallic on this part. Also, for reference of what the look we're trying to achieve with all of this as we're painting is this. It's this picture. Even managed to get a clean, though slightly upside down or sideways. I kind of have to tilt my head to read it. Probably I'll find a way to rotate the image when I want to copy down the sutra or the spell that is written on the bat. And yeah, that'll have to come after all the paint's dry, of course, and then I can write. I'm gonna try and freehand it. I'm hoping that my handwriting, or my hand at least, will be steady enough to make it neat and not too sloppy looking. But I think if it does look more handwritten, I think that's actually more character accurate, maybe. So I'm gonna go with it. So, but yeah, this is the look we're trying to achieve. Probably, yeah, the top of the bat that I was talking about earlier, this part, yeah, that's probably gonna be just like, oh, maybe I will paint that black actually. Yeah, definitely not gonna paint a metallic gray, but yeah, I may paint it like a darker gray, almost black, as well as like the where the bat meets the handle. Looks like there's a band of black there. And then the fabric. I haven't acquired the fabric or I'm probably just gonna use bias tape, to be honest. Like, probably just get some red bias tape, extra wide or something that I like, or at least is close in color to this bat, and again wrap the actual handle of the bat again, which is why I'm not going to bother sanding the bottom half of the bat. Aside from maybe like the pommel, like this part here, that holds onto it, but this main part here, I'm not going to bother sanding because I'm covering that with fabric anyway. So yeah, I think that's about enough prep talk. I think we're ready to get into the build. Let's switch views so you all can see. Alright, so hopefully this will, like last time when we were assembling, hopefully the camera will pick up everything okay. And, oh, also we've got Luffy back here. Straw Hat Leah's got the cat in here. Alright, so I should hang on. I just realized this power sander is really loud. I'm going to mute my mic just so I'm not blowing your guys' eardrums out. But just know that's why it's about to be mute for a second, not because I'm not talking. I just don't want to make you guys go deaf. There's the mute button. Okay, I'm back. Whew, child. That sander made it so hot. Good Lord. Whew. But okay. Thank you all for bearing with me through the moment of silence. But yeah, that was very, very loud. Don't think you guys really needed to hear the sander going. But, oh my goodness. I think I got like plastic dust on my hands. But also, shout out people in the chat. Sorry, couldn't acknowledge while I was muted. But hello, Allergy. Hello, Zoodle my noodle. Welcome back, Zoodle. You've been here before for our cosplay streams. So, dude, this is the progress. I don't know if you got to see it before I started sanding it. So we assembled it last week. Epoxy is set. Uh, uh, yeah, man, this is coming out great. Got the magnets set for the top, so the top can be interchangeable between that and the pencil. So yeah, so we just sanded. You know, it wasn't a very super smooth print. Um, um, so just kind of sanding out those little bumpy rough edges of little bits of plastic and stuff. This feels incredibly smooth now. This is insane. Just with the 120 grit, I still feel some. I'm feeling with my fingers to feel if there's still any rough bits that I missed with the sander. This top part feels pretty good. Let me kind of wipe this dust off a little bit. Anything that might have been left from the sander. There we go. Wipe my hand. Okay, yeah, I still feel like a little bit of roughness towards this bottom part, and I didn't really hit that well enough with the sander. I can already tell. This top part feels really good. Feel a little bit like an inch or two that might need to be hit again. But yeah, just those two spots, I think, were the only ones. All right, so I can buff those out real quick. And so yeah, this is. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to. Also, dude, check this out. Like, this is so strong. Like, this is. I probably like wouldn't hit like a baseball with it, but like I feel like you could use this as like a wiffle bat at least. Like you could do wiffle ball with this at the very least. Like I can swing this. Like it is not like budging. Like that's some strong epoxy. All right, so sorry I got excited, but let me put up a reference shot as I'm finishing these last two bits. Like these, just sanding out these last two spots. Just so anyone who's joining and coming in knows what we're trying to build and can see what we're trying to make. So yeah, let me switch. All right, nice, yeah. So this is this is the bat. This is what we're aiming for. We 3D printed it. Yeah, this has got some heft, man. I'm excited. But still light. Like this is still like super light. Great. This will be perfect to carry around con with. Yeah, this is just really good. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. All right, so I'm going to mute again really quick while I buff out these last two scratches and not blow our eardrums out. All right, give me 1 second. All right, we're back. Wipe off any leftover dust. Feel feels pretty smooth. Yeah, I don't feel any of that bumpiness I was feeling earlier, or when it first came off the printer. So I don't know if I even need the 220, to be honest. The 120 got it pretty good already. Trying to decide what I want to do. I might. I don't know. Let me see what this sand block does. Alright, that smooths it out a little bit. Alright, so I've got a hand sanding block here. I think it's like 300, maybe 320, I think 320. It's meant to be a finishing grit. I do have 220 sandpaper as well that I could put on the orbital sander again. I just don't think I need it though. That just kind of seems like overkill, because there's not really anything else. Like, I don't even see any of the gaps I was seeing before. Like, before I started sanding, there was a gap I could fit my fingernail into. That's gone now. I don't even need to fill that gap anymore. That's awesome. Like, all of that just from sanding. So I'm just gonna rub this down with the 320 and kind of just skip over 220 if I don't really need it. I'm not gonna waste the time in my eardrums. I honestly should have been wearing headphones or earplugs or something while I had that sander on. So do as I say, not as I do. Do better than I just did, because that really wasn't safe for my own hearing. But glad I got to at least mute it for for you guys in the chat. Alright. Kind of don't really feel like I'm even smoothing much. But alright. Let's switch back to my table view then. And we'll get started on some painting. Okay. Alright, let me move some things around. Alright. So this. This. All right. Making it work. All right. Making chocolates. Ooh, Dubai chocolates. Those sound yummy. Well, hopefully you make extra to share with the class. All right, so let's see. Make sure you guys can still see everything. All right, so yeah, let me put this. All right, so we're gonna start again, basic gray acrylic for a base coat. Depending on how well this color takes, we'll see how many coats we'll need to do, maybe 1 or 2. I'm anticipating maybe 2. But then the third and hopefully top coat will be this nice metallic, kind of armor metallic metal gray, flexible acrylic paint. So let's see. I need a size brush. Let's see. Let's do, and we're covering a large surface. We probably need a large brush. Yeah, something about this big. I'm just gonna use this. Grab some paper towels. Alright, make sure sure that doesn't roll off. Also, make sure you guys can still see. Yeah, that works. Just move my mic. All right, I think that'll work. There we go. Perfect. Okay. That's a better angle. All right. So just for reference, if anyone's curious, I cover my workbench with parchment paper. I was making a bunch of wefts, yarn wefts. There's still yarn everywhere in my work studio. Still working on the wig as well, which I can give a progress report actually before we start painting really quick, just because it's turning out really good and I'm excited. So this is, oh girl, get on camera. All right, this is Seiko, or her hair at least. So her hair is not braided, but I have 2 cats and they very much love yarn, as cats do. So I have braided her hair, one, so I stop tripping over it every time I walk past the studio, and also so my cats will be less likely to try and play with it, because if it's up in braids I can pin it more easier than when it was just a bunch of yarn strands everywhere. But yeah, she's turning out really good. She's got almost a full head. Almost a full head of hair. The only bit I have left is just really this, yeah, just a little top bald spot right there. That's all she's got left. So I still have quite a few more wefts to make. I'd say maybe about 15 to 20 wefts still to make of yarn, of hair. I've already got it cut to length, fortunately. Just got to glue it all up and get it on the mannequin. So, but that's you know, progress. It's coming along. It's coming along. So yeah, on to painting her bat, though. Okay, so let's start with some neutral gray. I'm gonna have my Bob Ross moment here. Ah! Nope. And then water spilled everywhere. And that's why we don't try to be cute. But anyway, I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit of, well, a lot of. I feel like I'm gonna need a lot of it. Put some paint on my parchment paper. Laying on some gray. Yes, just paint happy gray clouds. Can't really call them trees like Bob does, but hopefully this is just as relaxing. What is it? I know you're not supposed to sniff paint, but why does this smell like cherry? It smells like cherries. Like, why? How strange. I've never, like, this is a fresh tube of paint. Like, that's why I'm like, this isn't scented. Like, why does this smell so strongly of cherries? Hopefully that's not, like, indicative of, like, a stroke or something. What did they say? You smell burnt toast if you're about to have a stroke. I just smell cherries randomly and I'm gonna have an aneurysm. can already tell, like, I'm still seeing, like, a little bit of, I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera with this well or not, but I'm still seeing, like, a little bit of, like, the beige plastic showing through the paint. So I'll probably will do, like, one more coat of the acrylic gray before going in with the metallic. Yeah, I'm still seeing a little bit of the base underneath, so it's gonna need a couple coats. Usually with the black though, and the brown, actually, the dark brown flexible paint, I usually can get away with just using one coat for those, because they cover really, really well. I was gonna need a lot more than that. Let's add some more paint. Yeah, I imagine this is gonna, that tube's gonna be empty by the end of this probably. Man, this is really, I'm so excited for how this is gonna turn out. I think it's like always, at least for me, when I'm doing like prop building specifically, like painting's used like always one of like the last steps I do. So like it feels really I don't know, like the finish line is in sight when I'm when I start the painting process, because it's like, okay, that's like one of the final steps to making something that's lived in my head for a while into reality. So yeah, exciting step today. Really close to, yeah, okay. Okay. Just that little bit. Pieces of glue. I was worried this was going to roll off the desk. It's already starting. Hi, cousin. Cousin's in the chat. Hi, good to see you. I'm painting the baseball bat today. So that's exciting. So, let's see. Did I miss anyone else in chat? Oh, I missed a follow. Oh my goodness. Thank you for following. Let's see. I think Osa? With the Nausicaa avatar. Thank you for following. I appreciate you. But yeah. Let's see. Let's finish the rest. Add more gray. Yep, we'll keep adding more just basic acrylic gray as a base coat. Don't really want the beige to show. as much as I can at least. And then I'm going to go over it with a nice shiny metallic. Hopefully give it that realistic baseball bat look. Okay, get into towards the handle. Pretty good. My best to do as clean of a line as I can. On with a second layer now, or second coat, not layer. Let's see. Just because I can still see a little bit of the beige of the plastic coming through in certain parts. So I want to make sure I get a nice amount of coverage before I start with the metallic. Gray. That might be the last of it. Right, second coat. Okay. Ink. All of the back covered. Make sure we're not missing any spots. But we are going in with the metallic, so I guess realistically if I did miss a spot that would still get covered, but I'd still like to be thorough. A little water, help the paint move easier. Okay, so fortunately, I'm not putting like a super heavy amount of acrylic paint on there, so I don't think it'll take very long to dry. But while it is drying, I'm gonna get started on the top of the pencil, I think. Or, you know, start painting the pencil topper for the bat. And then we can come in with the metallic, because some parts are still pretty wet. And I don't really want it to mix or blend with the metallic. I just want the metallic to lay on top. But first coat's gotta dry first before that, so let's get it to that point. handle especially is covered. This okay. Oh, let's do a big view, big camera view. Okay. Yeah, so that's just the basic gray acrylic. Got some paint on my hand. But yeah, so gonna let this dry for a sec, and then we're gonna paint the top of this pencil, or the pencil topper, while it's drying. Then we're gonna put metallic on this to make it nice and shiny, and really look like the bat, and go from there. So, where's a good place to sit this to dry? So I'm gonna get gray everywhere. Actually, let's set it here. Roll. Yeah. Set that there, and then if that's drying, I don't know if I'll have a lot of room to show this, but I'll do my best. Let's see. I need black. There it is. Yep, so I'm going to start by painting the top part, just the part with the lead, or where the lead should be. I need a smaller brush though. I'll use the big one. So let me just do this angle brush. Bad. I don't feel like this is that good of a view. Let me see. There's a place I can have this dry and then use this work table again. So I should really not probably lay it down while it's drying, because then one side's going to be uneven looking. Alright. I gotta think of better places to dry my painting stuff. That's a good place I could put this. Ooh, actually, I think if I prop it on my desk, balance it, it should stay. Dry like that. Alright, perfect. So let me switch to my work desk. There. Now you guys can see. This part too. Like this. Alright, so see. Alright, so this time I'm going to use a angled brush, so I can kind of really get into, because it's kind of a jagged top, I want to really be able to get into the, you know, nooks and crannies and stuff, and I feel like the angled brush can do that a lot better. Yeah, it kind of looks like a pencil already, just with that part. Already with that part done. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it's kind of a bigger pencil top. Yeah, I can already tell I'm only going to need one coat for this. This is pretty good. Nice. Okay. Oh my god! It looks like a pencil. Okay. I'm gonna use my edge, or brush edge, and just get really close to those edge lines and keep it nice and clean. So, you know, like coloring, kind of coloring within the lines. Okay, well, I guess the cat wants in. Jesus. I don't know if my mic picked that up, but my cat is banging on my office door to come in. Oh, goodness. But, yeah, since this is a painting stream, though, no kitties this time, unfortunately. Or else they will be gray and black kitty prints all over my house floor. So I'm not. Next time, though, he is more than welcome to hang out, especially during the video game streams. But yeah, gotta say no for the painting ones. Okay, so a few more spots. get in the light, make sure I'm not overlooking. Smooth out some of the paint. Okay. Ta-da! Alright, so that's the lead of the pencil at the very least. So yeah, that's only going to need one coat. That's pretty impressive. Happy with that. Alright, let's check on the bat. Yeah, still needs a couple minutes. Alright, so in the meantime then, I'm going to kind of want to wait for the black part to dry. Oh, I can do the top actually. That I do want to mix with a little bit of white though, because I don't want it to be, let me see if I can still have the reference shot. Or is that just black? I might mix a little bit of white to make it like just a dark gray. I don't know if I want to do a straight black for this top part of the bat. Okay. Alright. So then let's do this one, but with a little bit of white. Use yet another brush. Thankfully I got a lot of them. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty dark. At least as dark as I would like it to get. Yeah, I like the way that looks. I'm not doing any fancy brush strokes here. I'm just gonna swirl it around. This probably is gonna need another coat though, just like the other gray. Probably just one more coat. still, like before, I'm still seeing like some of the beige come through. Like the beige PLA come through the paint, so. Make sure that that's still covered. So I'm gonna let this top part sit for a little bit. Come in with a second coat for that momentarily. But let's check back in with our main back part. See if it's ready for the metallic coat. So yeah, that's obviously not completely dry, but dry enough to put the next coat on. So big one again. Scooch this over. Okay. So again, just using flexible acrylic paint, just in a kind of armor metallic. Get it going. So shiny. Oh my goodness. Wow. Yeah, that's a big difference. So I'm trying to do longer strokes for this tops coat, just because I don't want the brush strokes to be super noticeable as the paint dries. Obviously, I'm hand painting it, so I can't avoid it completely. The best way to do that, like avoid brush strokes, is to probably spray paint it, or yeah, use some type of like airbrushing Neither of which I have. Well, I do have spray paint, but I don't like it. And it was kind of bad enough last week doing the epoxy and having all of those fumes in the house and stuff. So would need to get some proper ventilation in here first before would do anything like that. But I like hand painting. I don't mind it. I enjoy it. I find it peaceful and relaxing. Again, it helps me feel like I can actually like envision the final product once I begin painting, since that's like one of the finishing steps. Smooth out the brush strokes. I got most of it covered. So I'm using a lot of water to help move this around. One, so I don't have to use more paint than I need to. Again, because this is kind of not super expensive, but like I pay more for like this flexible acrylic paint than I do just like regular paint. So I try to, save it or not. I try to be a little more conservative with it. So I'm using mostly water to spread this around. and kind of get out of having to use more paint. And I'll have enough, paint to get me through several more props or cosplays, and before I have to up and get a new bottle. The paint goes all the way to the edge. I don't think I missed any spots. I think this might be our metal bat. Make sure the brush strokes nice and long, nice and smooth. Okay. Let's see. Show you guys on the big. Yeah. So I don't know if the metallic can show pretty well, but I mean it's reflecting off the light. So I feel like that's, you guys will be able to tell. But yeah, man, this is that's the base of the bat done at least. Nice metallic gray. So I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna do the little band at the bottom once the metallic gray dries. So where the red and the handle meet, there's that little band of like dark gray, just that's the same as the top. I'm gonna paint that little bit there, and then leave the rest pretty much bare so I can wrap it with some red fabric. But yeah, man, that was a lot of painting, a lot of work, but I really like how that came out. Turn it upside down. Prop it against the desk. Not leaning against anything. So I can dry. All right. All right, so where are we at? Oh, okay, it's only 8:30. All right, so we're done with that gray. away. Let's let me switch back to my desk view. We're gonna finish the. Okay, that's pretty dry. Okay, well, we're gonna finish that part, and we'll do a second coat for this really quick. This paint still smells like cherries. I still gotta say that. I don't know why this paint smells like cherries, but it does. Okay, so top part done. Okay, let's see. What do I want to paint? Oh, wait. This part. Now, do I... Okay, I just realized that it's the same base for the pencil. Like, this part right here is the same as this that I just painted, and then the pencil's attached to that. I just realized. So, yeah, this bottom part that holds the magnets, that's got to be painted gray, too, to match. So, let's do it. Luckily, I caught that. It's like, wait a minute. I don't think I'm painting that a wood color. I'm not gonna pretend I'm ambidextrous. I'm left-handed. I can't hold the brush in my right hand. I thought I could, but I can't. Okay, this bottom part might need a second coat also. Especially because it's got this top part. Top edge part before it gets to the wood of the pencil. I definitely want to make sure that part's covered. coat. So no beige shows through. They kind of match. Alright, next I want to do, well darn, I wanted to do the wood of the pencil next, this part here, but I just painted the bottom, which now has to dry. Yeah. Alright, well let's let that do that then. And then let's go back to the bat then and do that last little band. Should I do, let's do it like that. There we go. Let's see, where's my angle brush? Oh, by the way, if anyone's curious what I use to clean my brushes, just pink soap. It's really cheap. It is really good. I just put some of it in, basically it's just it's a paintbrush cleaner, mason jar with some chicken wire at the bottom to just rub your brushes in. And yeah, just add a few drops of pink soap, and that's more than enough to get them cleaned. Nice. Alright, so I'm going to try to be extra careful. Just paint this little, little strip of where the little band meets the, or where the bat meets the handle. I'm just going to use the same gray I used for the top. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really doing much fancy. I'm pretty much just getting at least a good little roll of paint on the brush, getting it lined up, and just turning the bat and letting that guide it to keep it straight. Not really doing too much more than that. Time for a second coat. And got left uncovered. Yeah. Did the little band around the edge, nothing too fancy. And yeah, I'm gonna leave the rest for when I wrap some fabric around. Probably will make a Michael's run and find some extra wide red bias tape that matches the bat as best as possible. So yeah. that turned out really well. Let me put this down so I can stop touching it and let the paint dry. I get paint all over my hands. Alright, so let's switch back. There we go. Okay. Alright, so my part's pretty dry. Alright, we're going to try and mix a pretty close pencil color brown as best I can. A little bit of brown. Again, flexible acrylic paint, just in brown. But then I'm going to use just regular milky white to mix into it to hopefully lighten it up enough that it's the right tone for a pencil. That, let's see if we can show it or not, but it's close, but not quite. It's still a little too dark. Okay, slightly lighter, getting close. It's not quite pencil yet. Let me try. Okay, let me try just like regular, like titanium white. Let's see if that'll. Good. Okay. Lighten it enough. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I think that's a pretty good, I think, pencil brown. Right. Let's see. Yep. Yep, perfect. That's just how I wanted. Yeah. Oh, nice. All right. Let's put this on our pencil, and ideally this won't need too many coats. Wow, oh man, I'm so happy with that color. That shade came out great. That really looks like a pencil. Light shows it accurately enough. Water. Smooth it out. Again, trying not to have too many brush strokes from the paintbrush showing. A little water helps spread it out at least. It's a little less noticeable. Might need to switch to an angle brush, especially as I get to like the top part where it starts to meet the pencil lead. I want to be like extra careful that I'm not getting the colors mixed together. So I want it to be a nice clean separation. With this brush, and then maybe touch it up around the edges with a smaller, finer brush. Bottom part here. spots at the bottom. I'm gonna start filling in the top, or the top edge at least, where it starts to meet the lead. Oh, there's a square brush. I might be able to. Okay, nice. Just brush off the excess. Brush, 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 brush. All right. Looks like a pencil. That. Oh, I think that might be the end. Okay, let me you guys that look. Or let me do big screen, sorry. Big screen. Big screen. Okay, so there. Let's see if I can show it. Yeah. It's the top of a pants. So cool looking. I'm just so in awe. Oh my gosh. This is insane. It's really starting to look like a thing. So let's see. So of course I'm trying to be mindful that it's still wet. But I'm gonna get an idea of where we're headed. Bruh, no! Yo, man. I'm gonna put... I'm just excited. Oh my goodness. Yay. Oh, okay, let me not wave it too crazily, but wow, that's, man, that was a pretty good painting. I am most impressed with myself. Wow. goodness. Okay, well, let me check. Okay, so I think we're gonna need to save the actual painting of the. Oh, let me put the reference shot back up so we know what we're talking about and what we're planning next. Okay, so what we're planning next. Um, we are going to have to wait because this is still wet. It is still wet. It's drying quickly, but it's not quite there yet. So, and I'm banging it all over the desk. Okay, so we are going to then save the actual sutra spell painting, that handwriting that we see here in our reference shot. We're going to save that for next week. And probably combine that with wig styling. I am anticipating through this weekend, and by next Wednesday, I will have finished all of the wig wefts. I will have them glued onto the wig base, and hopefully we'll have it like, any, if there's any like holes or like bald spots or whatever, I'll have those filled in already with like extra yarn. But the actual styling of the, that big updo, that's probably gonna be a whole stream. So we'll combine that then for next Wednesday. We'll paint this sutra message on the bat, obviously once it's completely dry. Also, I will hopefully, I imagine they will have the like just red bias tape at the craft store. So by then, I will hopefully have gone to the craft store, purchased the tape. We can pretty much finish. I'm gonna finish out the bat basically next stream with painting the sutra on and then wrapping the handle with fabric. After that, I don't imagine that's gonna take a whole stream. We'll do wig styling in addition to that, so it'll be a combination prop and wig working stream. But yeah, just to kind of show, I guess, the variety. So we can take the pencil off, and hopefully this part's dry, and then just have it be a regular bat, yo. Look at that. It's just a bat now. I like it with the pencil though. The pencil makes it look cooler. Just twist it on so the magnets line up. And there we are. All right. Well, so my friends, we are gonna wrap up our stream today. Super, I just can't get enough of looking at it, especially with the pencil topper on it. It looks legit, man. It just looks legit. I'm excited for all of this to come together. So final wrap-ups, final words. Let me put this down. All right, so first off, thank you, everyone who tuned in tonight, especially the chatters. I see Elegy, I see my cousin, Odd Society was here, Osa was here, Zoodle, you were here, and I appreciate all of you for being here and tuning in to Whatcha Makin Wednesday. And look what we made, man. Look what we made. I'm so excited. Let's see. Rest of the week. As usual, I'll be back on Friday night for TGIF. Also, kind of Final Fantasy Fridays is kind of how it's been nicknamed, I guess. Also, But yeah, I'll be back here playing through chapter 6, 5, 5 or 6. I'm not sure which one I finished up last stream or not. Um, but yeah, we're gonna continue working through that. Uh, yeah, also been doing some music reactions on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. That has been surprisingly taking off very well. I did not kind of anticipate. Do I have paint on my face? I feel like I think I got gray paint on my face, but sorry, I just noticed that in the camera. But anyway, I I am just really very grateful, very appreciative of all the support that's been coming in from both the Knox Hill gang, and some of the renegades have started showing up the last few days also to my YouTube channel to support, and thank you all for just the really nice, encouraging, and just kind, honest to goodness, kind comments that you guys have been leaving on my videos. Uh, I read them all. They do not go unnoticed. Um, um, and they do not fall on deaf ears. They are very much uh, uplifting and encouraging, and are exactly what I need to keep going and doing this, and not feeling super self-conscious being uh, in front of a camera, and expressing myself in front of the world. So um, just want to say thank you again. I don't think I could ever say thank you enough. Uh, um, I guess the best way I can think to repay you all is to keep on going and keep making more content that you guys enjoy watching as much as I enjoy making. So, yeah, so check out my YouTube channel, same name, Straw Hat Leah. I try to keep it all under the same name across all the socials to make it easy to find me. Um, but yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Happy Whatcha Making Wednesday, and see you guys again Friday. Have a good night, everyone. Bye bye.